Riding with Suburban here, and today we're looking at the weather stripping on the back door here on the Suburban, and it's not good. That's to say the least. I did cut a little bit. It kind of didn't want to come up, but it's got these plastic clips here that are stuck. But this is garbage. It's pretty bad. I'm sure it's original. It's over 30 years old. This car was built in 87 or 88, so it's pretty old. Just cut it out with my knife, but probably not the best use for my knife, but it's what I had on me. So this is the mess I'm dealing with here, and the problem is that this area, when it rains, this area gets wet because it falls directly down from here, and of course the Suburbans they're not straight up in the back, they're curved. And so right here it gets wet. So it's coming in basically along this line right here and then along here. So I've got to figure out what I'm going to do about that. And I thought about just ripping this out and everything, but this is actually, other than being completely flat, isn't in too bad a shape. I think the problem really is this. So I've got an idea. I'm running to the hardware store. We'll see how it turns out. Well, I found my Gerber tool, which is a lot better than my knife, and pulled out the rest of the junk, the stuff that used to be weather stripping. And you can see it's not pretty. There's some rust that's going to start in there, and I sure don't want it to. All right, so after spending some time with the wire wheel of death, which is this guy right here, you can see why I call it the wire wheel of death. I love and hate those things. I realize that this is folded over, it's not welded, so that little bit of rot right there, I'm actually not worried about. I've got I wanted some Por 15, but my hardware store didn't have any, so I've got this stuff, which will hopefully take care of it. So just gonna have to wait for it to warm up, and then get that stuff sprayed on. I'm not sure if it's warm enough right now. It's supposed to be at least 50 degrees, and it feels like it might be 50. So, got overcast skies, so it's not exactly warm, but that looks a whole lot better than this. So, assuming that this works, then this one will get the other side will get the same treatment, and this is what I'm using right here. So this is only $10 for 10 feet. And I measured, and I think each door I'll use about 8 feet. So this should do it. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so I went ahead and masked just the area up here because I really couldn't see it so well. And then for this area, I used a piece of cardboard and just held that behind it here so I didn't spray the truck. Not that it would necessarily hurt it. Also got this out of the way just so that I could get to this area and spray paint it with the rust inhibitor. And I think I got it all. Might be a spot there that I missed, but not too concerned. Overall, it should be better at least. So let's see here. The further down I can bring this, the better I can see it. Yeah, that looks about what I wanted it to be. So I've got to wait for this to dry for, I think, at least half an hour. I think it says 24 hours to cure. I'm not sure. So I'll check the directions, but I'll get that weather stripping installed, and hopefully it solves the problem. We'll see. All right, so I went ahead and masked off this area, at least somewhat, and then went ahead and sprayed it with the rust. What's it called? The rust spray paint. Anyway, and sprayed around here, and then just masked this off with a trash bag and some tape, and then used a piece of cardboard to just temporarily mask these areas while I sprayed, and it turned out okay. So hopefully that'll keep the rust from getting worse. Definitely a few other areas in this truck that can use that kind of treatment as well. So we'll see how this goes. And so I gotta wait for that to dry, and then it'll be time to install this weather seal. Now, I didn't get underneath too well. Down here, it's just kind of hard to get underneath there, but I probably should, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Yep, looks like I'm gonna have to get that too. I'll work on that while the rest is drying. All right, so it's literally about 3 minutes later, and I just went ahead and hit this with the angry wheel and wiped it down and spray painted it with that Rust-Oleum rust reformer. So we'll see if this rust reformer can reform this rust from its bad ways and rehabilitate it into a nice productive citizen. I doubt it. Got all new weather stripping, and it's a lot smaller than the weather stripping that came off of it. But to cut it here, because this makes a transition, but could have just curved it, but all new all the way around. And then I also replaced the bit that was up here because it was equally awful. So that's all the way around as well. Not exactly even, but don't care. So now I've got to figure out, does it still leak? So I've got a jug of water and I'm going to set my camera so that it hopefully covers this area. Should be good. All right, so let's close the door. I'm now pouring water. And got a shower. That did not work at all. Okay, yeah, that was a total fail. I mean, I did pour water straight into it, but it should have done better than that. Well, it was a good try. Thanks for watching. The next video I do about this subject will be drying off my camera here. Next video I do on this subject will be replacing it with factory style stuff from one of the menu manufacturers who make the factory style stuff. Thanks for watching. Let's get that water out. That probably wasn't smart to put that in there, but since it did that matter.